Hi Pradeep.
Hi.
Thank you for accepting our invitation to talk to us.
My pleasure.
So as you know, hākārā is a bilingual journal.
Yeah.
We publish it in Marathi and English. And the whole idea is to build a kind of space for dialogue across different disciplines, across different practices, and also discuss how an artist, a thinker, researcher, they all get into the process of building their work. So in that context, we are so delighted to talk to you about your work. And whenever someone thinks about Pune, performing in Pune, first name comes in their mind is the box nowadays.
Thankfully.
And obviously everyone feels very connected to Pradeep Vaidya and Rupali Vaidya. Both of you run this space.
Yeah.
And as a writer, as someone who has been kind of experiencing theater making in Pune and Maharashtra for a long time, I realize it's not just about a day long process or it's year long process. You have been building this space for long time.
Yeah.
It's been long journey. It's your long journey. It's a journey of Pune theater, Maharashtra theater in Maharashtra since 1990s or so. So how did it begin?
Well, it began with my shifting to Pune basically. In 1998, I am a Mumbai guy. I'm from Mumbai. I am born and brought up at Mumbai. So, I used to work in music more than theater in Mumbai, while in Mumbai. And I came to Pune. Somehow, things so shaped that I became a theater person.
Yeah.
So from 1995, I was connected to Progressive Dramatic Association, or PDA, they say. Because Rupali Bhave, who's my wife, she was a part of PDA since 1992. And automatically I got engaged with those people because of some productions. And then it all continued. I used to watch plays, I used to see work of Atul Pethe, Sandesh Kulkarni, and I used to watch theatre at Sneha Sadan.
That's
if you remember
a
that.
space run by missionaries.
Yeah, some missionaries. And that was a very interesting thing to watch because I used to watch theatre in Mumbai at Chabildas or NCPA, and I used to hear about things run by Ratnakar Matkari, Terrace Theatre, something like that. We used to do certain plays in college, but they were in classroom and they were simple. I mean, some initiatives where you keep practicing one act plays and all that. That was like that. That was no very formal theatre. Here they used to charge for their shows. They used to do shows one after other. They would say 25th show, 50th show, and something like that. Yeah. So I still remember having watched Sathe there. Sathe Chakaka.
That was directed by Sandesh.
Yeah, Sandesh, and it was such fun watching plays there. And 1998, I also connected with Anand Chabukswar, who also involved me in this piece called Zhade Maticha Manatil Kavita. It was a poetry ensemble, and we used to perform. I used to perform on stage, singing and saying, reciting poems and all that. So that was around 1999-2000. Again, around that time, when Mohit was trying to explore new ideas and new ways of doing theatre, there was some kind of resistance in PDA, and PDA broke out, and Asakta was formed in 2002.
So this was the time when Sneha Sadan was still active.
Yes, that was a change over time, like 1999, and around end of that year, I think Sneha Sadan.
Yeah, and there was so much demand for Sneha Sadan, no? Like
It was. People would look forward to what shows are there. I mean, you could see those posters put there outside, and it was a center kind of and epicenter of parallel art kind of.
Yeah.
But it had a small magnitude, but I think it was catering to the needs of that time.
Yeah.
People who were looking for something which was not having that, which did not need that kind of glamour, that kind of magnitude of whatever was presented at Bal Gandharva, just beyond the river.
Yeah, and also there was some conceptual change in theatre making.
Yeah,
like with different content.
So I think this need of talking to only a small group of people, that intimacy between that dialogue of artists with the audience, that intimate theatre thing was there. It was working here already. I hear about tales being told about Raja Bhavanatu and these people, but I was not part of Pune that time. So there were efforts done by some stalwarts before in Pune. Maybe Samanvay was following those footsteps, but but the appeal that Samanvay created in that Sneha Sadan, I mean Sandesh and Kiran and Shashank, Chendi, all these people, they kind of created that appeal of Sneha Sadan performance. Just across that lane there was this place called Majestic Prakashan. They used to hold certain things in their terrace, some programs and all that.
Majestic Prakash Publishing House.
Yeah, publishing house. And they used to have those, but this idea did not move forward like what Sneha Sadan did. And Sneha Sadan was stopped because of their intrinsic decisions of not allowing such performances in a religious space. So then there was a need of such space for such expression, basically.
So there were plays. People had kind of urge to do plays within a smaller spaces, but they did not have Sneha Sadan at the time.
It would be like that.
Yeah.
There was this situation where people had this question: if Sneha Sadan closes down, what next? And at that juncture, I think this decision was very quickly taken that Sudarshan Hall will be converted into this particular. Sudarshan Hall was in theatre because Maharashtra Cultural Center used to hold their practices there. Then certain competitions from Mumbai like Kalpana, Avishkara would have their earlier rounds, rehearsal rounds there at Sudarshan.
Yeah.
So people were engaging with Sudarshan for rehearsals or something like that. And then these people thought about having a small space where you have a crunched proscenium type of a scenario, but then the intimacy factor remains. And basically what Sneha Sadan had was this feeling of my space for theatre walas.
You just
connect there and you just go there and you feel, this is my space and now whatever I want to do, I can do here. So that feeling of my space was transposed on Sudarshan. And it was transposed successfully because many people from Mumbai were involved. Avishkar accepted to bring 2 productions every month.
Arun Kakade Kaka that time he said that I'll perform through the month.
So nobody was thinking about profits at that time. Costs were high, of course. Even they were low. They would seem to be very, they would seem to be high as we talk about arithmetics coming from the box office and all that. But they were still smaller than what used to happen at Yashwant Rao. Yashwant Rao was not there, I think, that time. Bharatnatyam or Bal Gandharva. So, this need that I don't want to talk to more than 100 persons, or even smaller people. I want to talk to just 50 persons, just 70. So that need was very well addressed by Sudarshan at that time. And Sudarshan also had this appeal of having some technical provisions there. Otherwise, in Sneha Sadan, you had to bring everything from outside. Because they didn't have this vision of having a theatre space. That space was used by theatre walas as their space. But Sudarshan had this appeal. They had sound system, they had properly rigged, and all the electrification was done in a good way, and there were patching boards, patching consoles and everything. So Girish Joshi was involved in all that design.
Girish Joshi, Vivek Bede also.
Yeah, but Girish was basically involved in the technical design of the space. Vivek was also there, a part of the organization. He started coming out with certain plays which he would try there and then go to commercial this thing.
So now let's take a moment and just think about, you mentioned this plays, certain plays. So what one realizes in 90s and early 2000s, there were the stories of couple, two characters, and they were also kind of within the family structures.
Yeah.
And then within a family structure, but also they tried to look at the socio-political context. And it was very layered, complex kind of content. So was that typical of 90s? Because you have been also doing theatre since before.
Yeah.
So there was popular / commercial theatre, and here there was something else was happening. What was that?
Yeah, so popular theatre was basically having all the razzmatazz and mostly box sets, but they would have everything that was required to portray a bungalow. But the parallel theatre, as we can call it, was looking to be minimalist.
Yeah.
It would take only those things which were necessary in the transactions between the characters. So, if I am giving you something as gift, that would be up to my standards of whatever the play demands. But the wall may be black.
Yeah.
The wall may not be there, or something like that. So that aesthetic was shifting, but still the experimental people were thinking that not doing any expense is experiment.
Yeah.
I mean, poor theatre was mistaken as experimental theatre, probably. Or these concepts were merging, or confused, or you can say because it was perhaps a no option situation for people who were doing small frame theatre, they would be poor at that time, and they would think naturally about having just two boxes and doing the play like that.
Yeah.
Even if it was demanding something else, some different aesthetics from that. But then most of the experimental theatre happening around was like, whatever you have, you use that in your play, and that is it. You will not go beyond that to design some visual out of that, something.
You mean the sense of design started emerging?
It started emerging in the smaller spaces better than the commercial spaces, because the smaller spaces had two competitions at that time. One was with the commercial space, where people had stars working in their plays, they had names, commercial appeal, and the smaller theatre didn't have that kind of appeal. And second was television. That shifted from it got color, and it got many channels, different channels, around 93, I think. So this kind of entertainment blast that happened around that time, you had to bring that luster or that visual appeal in you. So I saw this change happening. 500 watt lights started becoming 1 kilowatt lights. Because the theatre light would look poor. It had to have that luster or that glamour or that what shine of television which was there. So that brightness, luminance.
So then you started using color filters that time?
Yeah, people started doing that. People started automatically this pressure built and people started thinking on those lines. I need to push this a little. I want to have a different visual, especially people like Mohit and people like Akarsh Khurana and these people on the Hindi and English theatre scene.
Yeah.
So
and then there was also Sunil Shanbag.
Sunil was there.
Asta Debu was also.
Yeah, but Sunil was again from that tradition of Dupe where he would not look at all those things.
Yeah.
He would look at the characterization, script and everything. But the scenario would be very minimalist kind of. But then Sunil shifted to that slowly, started responding to the atmosphere in such a way that visual appeal has to be there, some visual conceptualizing and all that.
So at that time, just like, so what you are saying is Sudarshan start operating full-fledged. But at the same time, I also see there were Pandit Satyadev Dubey who were doing workshops in Pune, and you all, I think you participated from time to time, and it has a very very deep impact on theatre making here. So there was Theatre Academy, then PDA, and then Satyadev Dubey.
I think TA was not very active at that time. Theatre Academy was doing shows, but that was not having a punching impact on the current scenario. They used to do their shows of Mahanirvan or these things. But after 90s, I don't think they were affecting the scenario much. PDA was again, it was a good bunch of people, but it was not having that kind of edge of that kind where they could do something different. Samanvay was doing that.
Yes.
Maharashtra Cultural Center, because they had Sudarshan then, and they impacted the scenario, becoming the epicenter of all the art that was happening around Pune.
And they were also working with multiple forms of expression.
Yeah, they were working. Of course, they had this vision of having everything at one place. Pramod Kale or Madhuri Purandare, Pele, then some people like that, whosoever, Shubhangi Maushi, of course, and all these people had this urge to look at all the arts as important and valid part of human beings. So they started music there, dance, this thing there, art gallery. The basement was converted into an art gallery like scenario. So whatever you have, you look at art positively through that. And that vision was basically brought to Pune by Sudarshan people. That's a huge contribution and very fundamentally gear shift kind of a thing happening to Pune basically that time. Many other organizations had huge buildings with them, huge funds with them, political supports, but they didn't have that kind of vision. So again you see an artist looking at their own needs and they are supplying those needs. Fortunately enough, Maharashtra Cultural Center had the structure, the formal structure that was required to do all these things, that public trust, having a public trust body to attract funds if we require or whatever. I mean, the economics was designed in such a way that not looking at profits was okay at that time.
Now there are 5 spaces plus there is cafe. So like whenever you come to the box, this space, as you enter this thing, you see it's a happening space.
Yeah.
Like people are talking, people are excited, people are going for tea, coffee. There are also, and but also there is a kind of discipline that has been also followed. Like there is empathy, people are taking care of each other. So how, like, what is the vision here when you think of like hub?
Basically, the vision continues to provide your own space, the feeling that this is my space. If you see, if you notice, there is no signboard asking you to do anything or not do anything.
Yeah.
There are
People
no
like, don't
notices.
touch here.
Don't touch, don't do this, don't do that. I had this, even Rupali and I, both of us had this in mind that we will set an example. If you want people to use it in certain way, we start using it in certain way. So we use this space as creative people as well. There is this trajectory where I felt like directing myself in 2007, 2008, where I was working for other people, designing lights and all that, but I said I want to do my own work in some different flavor, and that trajectory was there. That came to something like Kazvanza Gav, which would require, a different transaction between the artist and the audience, because the space perspective was changed. So that pushed me to think about space on the other hand. I mean, that has also contributed to coming to a point where you need your own space, that decision. So I started using, Kazvanza Gaon was shut at that time because COVID made 9 artists shift to their own location, and they would never come back. That was the scenario, and we had 14 people in the play, and 9 had shifted to their native places. So I took auditions again, and I rebuilt the play again for the box. And then I started showing people that this space can be used for in a different way. I did several productions here, which necessarily made the space look something different. And I used the space in an innovative way. None of my plays until Atireki, which I did in a proscenium format. Otherwise, there is no proscenium play that I did when I started working in box. Also, I was thinking about why wouldn't people come and perform on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday? Why would they do that?
Because everyone focuses on Saturdays and
and we only have this much for Saturday. The bandwidth is so small. So we started talking to them. And then we said, okay, fine, if you sense a risk of performing on a weekday, we share your risk with you. And we came out with a revenue share option, which worked well. And right now, thing is that we are occupied 22 to 27 days in a month. Every day you see theatre happening here, and people, they have started booking the space. They don't go for revenue share. They feel that's a loss-making proposal, doing revenue share.
So booking, as in you do like booking online or like
bookings are online generally. There is no one who sits here to give you tickets and all that. It's just 1 hour before the show that there is a ticket counter set. Otherwise, everything is online or a phone booking maybe.
Message and So if someone wants to book, because now I can see that people from outside Pune also are traveling here regularly. They want to perform, so they kind of contact you.
Yeah, they call me. They ask for dates. They book those dates. They have to make travel arrangements. So most of the outside people bookings they are done 3 or 4 months before. And we have some groups traveling in December, in January, in February, so on.
Yeah, and I think you have been also encouraging interdisciplinary. Like
Yeah.
I saw this performance you and Atul Pethe did
Yeah.
with Raju Sutar
Yeah,
and
yeah.
others.
Actually, Raju was a friend ever since I came to Pune. Yeah. We used to do all the time pass during the day in one restaurant, Sunrise restaurant, and we used to interact there. And both of us, the struggle period was almost the same. And
Same, yeah.
at some time, that time itself, Zapurza was also opening, and the possibilities of newer spaces were like they are seen in a different way by even the artists. And that time, Raju Sutar and I had a discussion that why not a black art gallery? Why don't you think about a black art gallery? And he said, why not? We will do it. And we thought of an initiative that Raju took very seriously, and he brought a fleet of artists to the space.
Visual artists and performance artists.
No, the creative painters and yeah. So they visited this space several times. And the first exhibition that we planned in 2021 or 22, I think, 2022 was titled Out of the Box. And the artists were pushed to think out of the box. And for the space, you have to create a piece for the space, which fits the space. And they created around 20 artifacts were created. And they were shown. While this was done, some of the artists, other artists like dancers or singers, when they visited the exhibition, they felt extemporary performances. And they said, I want to perform here, I want to sit here and recite a poem. And that started happening in the first thing. And the second exhibition, we can say event, art event, collaborative event, we made it a part of our vision. That this has to be a part of your vision, where that becomes a melange of several arts, different arts. And so last 2 years, 2023 and 2024, we involved dancers like Rujuta Soman, and Atul Pethe was involved, Girish Pardesi was involved, and all that happened with them together.
Yeah. But then, in all, what do you think? Why people feel like coming to the box? I mean, what is your sense? What do you feel?
There are several factors that I gathered from this initiative called SMART, Strategic Management in Art of Theatre, that was launched by Sanjana Kapoor and her associates. Rupali and I both have done this course. First I did it, then in the second year I was also a mentor in that. And how do people run their spaces all along India? We had a cross section of all that. We had a perspective of all that. And certain things like what you see at Hegodu or certain informal atmosphere at some spaces that you feel that, or even Prithvi, earlier when you used to visit that, now it has become a much like a different space. But earlier it was so friendly. So here, significantly, if you notice, we don't have an office. We sit in parking and decide about dates, and we sit in a cafe and decide. We sit outside on the ledge and we talk about commercials.
there are no formality.
Yeah, there are no formalities. We are with you on your side. And the atmosphere, the working atmosphere, we don't have salaried people working for us. We are all interns working for us. We have 9 of them who do anything. I mean, as when I used to work here in 2020, when there was no one else, I used to do the housekeeping. I used to tell people that wait outside. I will give it to you at 8 o'clock as mentioned. And I used to come here at 7 and I used to wash everything. I used to clean everything. So that's the culture. That's how it's run.
That's beautiful part.
So nobody is ashamed of doing anything. Nobody is pressurized of. Nobody is saying you versus me scenarios. Nothing like that. We try to understand your concerns, your issues, and then we decide how to respond to that. There are much less no's in us. No things.
Yeah, don't do
You
that.
cannot do this. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Such rules are not there. I mean, the rules are not governing us. We have a framework, a loose framework, adaptable framework.
Yeah.
Of course, you cannot litter in the, but that is how you use the space.
Right.
And then people.
Yeah.
There have been incidences when people have used it in a bad way. People have been spitting in the corners, they have littered the green rooms. But then we picturize everything. We make a video of that. And we clean it. We don't even shout at them. We don't say anything. And we send it to their director saying, this is what you left for us to do. So can it be better next time? Can you use it like your own space? What would happen if we did it with your space? In a friendly way, not in a pinching way. So that changes everything. People think about our space. They suggest us, why don't you do this? Why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So everyone feels like having ownership to the space that way.
So the commercial part, once it is decided and once it is fixed on one hand, then you work as one party, not two parties.
So and this, you think the existing economic model has been also working like that way?
It is not. Since we are in a commercial zone, it is not fully profit making right now for us. We are making very small profits right now. But we have come to a point where we are managing to cross the number of that magic number where you have to meet your expenses, that what we say. So the red number is not appearing in our balance sheet. So we have crossed that. But as I said, we have been paying a huge commercial rent for this space. It is huge because it is in a central part of the city. It is so accessible. It's just next to the
metro line.
flowing road, Karve Road and metro line.
Metro.
So they charge us very sharply, very commercially, and we said, fine, let's take this challenge. And that was the first challenge that we faced, because if you pay 100 rupees, you have to earn 110 rupees. That's the first thing. So that is how our initiative gives you a standard that if our organizations who have their own spaces look at this particular thing very seriously, they can create much better results than what we are doing. They can be done. Of course, just the resources will not do it. The human beings are very important. Because just having the space doesn't run itself. You have to run. People make it different. As I said, the policies, the strategies, the way we work with the way we relate with the space and with the people coming here, the way we relate with that, it's different, and that is how it makes that difference. But still, people can learn to do that. People can modify their behaviors by learning through experiences. That will happen, of course. But I will always say that if our organizations that are having huge campuses and buildings with them and funds with them, charity funds with them, think in this manner and try to do this. It will be a great thing to happen throughout Maharashtra or wherever.
So here now you have a material. You have all the kind of system with you. You are like you are mobile light designer, like for traveling from. So now I'm sure like you must have realized the need to, where do you keep that? Like, where do you mount it? Like, because all the time you can't keep it in one theater space. So then you kind of had a go down or something?
I had a small go down below the staircase at Maharashtra Cultural Center.
Great.
Hirabag campus.
Josna Bhole.
And also that 2011 Josna Bhole started.
That time there was a parking space. And
that parking. And I used to use the parking space for my workshops.
Oh, great.
The training programs. So I had that space. I just asked them, can I keep it here? I can. And they agreed. And
that's amazing. See, like Josna Bhole, Sudarshan, all these places, they were always welcoming.
They were. That was
till today.
One of the most important parts, that owning the space. As a theatre wala, you own a space and you say, this is my space. That feeling, that heartwarming, welcoming feeling that was generated especially by Shubhangi Damle, I would say. That was the most important part in Pune's theatre scenario that time. So,
and I mean, there has been space for failures also. To kind of, you fail, but then you use this. Like,
because you have, it's your own. I mean, there is no one to judge you on that level, how much you have used. There is no audit that is happening on that level. So, this particular space, which was just a parking space, and because the parking was not accessible from where it ought to be, that was not being used for parking. So, we started using it for theatre. And I started doing certain initiatives like Natak at breakfast. So on Sundays, you would come there at 9:30, have your breakfast, have chats and all that. I used to arrange for newspapers. Music was there. Sometimes we had some platform performances as well. And then I met Rahul, and we started discussing that people are engaged here for some quality time. So why not use the walls for displaying art? And we had to have, we thought about one day art exhibition, and we started another initiative called Art at Natak at Breakfast. And to our surprise, people would come there and watch. There some very small amount of paintings were sold also at there. I think, he can tell you. And we continued for almost 1 year or so. But then there were vision clashes between the partners that were involved, and that
And
had to stop.
that's where you started thinking about your own.
Yeah, that those vision clashes again. Natya Saptak
Yeah.
was another activity where I used to think about the community as such.
Yeah.
So I started thinking of, and the solo initiative. Like when I started my own workshops, most of the students were from outside Pune
Yeah.
and from Usmanabad, from Dharashiv now. You can Nagpur, Yavatmal, wherever, Amravati. And they didn't have any contacts in Pune, but they were saying that they want to do theatre as their career.
And how do you get into
I was surprised. I mean, how can they become popular here? How can they be even noticed of what they have to offer?
Yeah.
And 1 year down the line, I started Expression Lab in 2011. And by 2012 November, I was thinking about these 120 students that have already done Expression Lab workshops and were seeking some opportunities. So I thought about solo pieces that they can build themselves. But how can they do that? So I started supporting them with a program
Yeah.
that used to run for 8 months.
Offered them training and
Yeah, you were also a part of the
Mentorship.
mentors. In the first year only, we talked about what is a solo
yeah.
and how is it different from Varad Nigale London or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. So, that program caught up very well. Like first year I used to do it, first and second year, I organized it only for Expression Lab people. But second year, this pressure started building up. Like people from outside, they said, why are you doing it for your own people? Open it, open it. And in third year, I opened it, and first 2 years, the participation level was 27 participants, 29 participants. Third year, it went to 82
Wow.
straight. 82 persons trying to build their solos, and there were so many sessions of having them interact with the mentors, show their work, talk about that.
Yeah.
I used to need at least 20 to 25 days of the time of that space.
Yeah. And at that time, you used only rented spaces. You did
No,
not
I
have
used
your
to
own.
pay rent to MCC
Yeah.
for
And you
that.
did not have your own space by then.
I didn't have my space.
So then, yeah, that time you thought about your space.
yeah, this called for all my initiatives, all my consumption of space for my work started directing me or pushing me towards having my own
Yeah.
space, because that was wiser to do, because that would give me more liberation as for using time, doing your time schedules, all that.
Yeah. And
So I watched for spaces in commercial or industrial zone, because the lighting would require high voltage this thing, and again industrial zones you don't have residents around, so that if you shout, they also start shouting. So that scenario, that noise pollution thing for them,
yeah.
I wanted to avoid that. So just across the corner in the same lane, I hired a small space which had 2 floors, 2-storied place, which was almost of the size of box stage area, 24 feet by 34 feet.
That's all.
That's all. And 2 halls like that.
Yeah.
So, to my surprise, and I had this lighting design material with me. So, I just hanged everything there, and I painted the walls white with black cloth over it, black curtains over it. So, when I pull every curtain, it becomes a black box.
Yeah.
So, this black box kida was there. That drum.
And that I remember, like we used to use that space only other kind for reading.
Yeah.
And especially it was like a what you call rehearse reading kind of.
Rehearse readings, workshop. But to my surprise, people started doing their plays there for 40 people in audience, for 30 in the audience. And that space offered them further liberation from whatever they were feeling. I mean, the questions that were arising in Sudarshan or scenarios like Sudarshan. People needed option, maybe. The space was AC, the space was more intimate, and people started using it.
And how many years it was there?
In 2018, I opened it, and till COVID.
20.
COVID, I had to close down because I couldn't afford to pay the rent, not having the activity. But that time only, again, the need of the time was that people started booking the space for their work. It was reverse scenario, and I required a space which was not pushing me on the cost levels, because this space was rented by me and I used to pay a commercial rent for that. And if I am going to use it for my own purpose, I am blocking my commercial possibilities. So if you are going to hire my space and I am not allowing you to do that, my mathematics is not fitting. So I searched for another space, which was a society hall, and I started all my education or theatre education work there. All the expression lab workshops went there. The solo work went there. That was around 1.5 kilometers from here. So when that space was started using by people for performances.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So I thought, great. So let's now figure out if we can have a black box or a parallel space which doesn't push you to affect your performance or shrink your performance to a smaller performance. You don't think a small performance because your space is small.
Yeah.
You want to create a performance which fits the stage of Bharatnatyam Mandir or whatever, I mean the commercial stage. But you have the height, you have everything, all the dimensions are not affected. What you are doing is, you are just presenting it for 150 persons or 100 persons and with a closer distance, at a closer distance. So how can you do that? Can we have such a space? And I started looking around and I came here.
Where we are now.
Yeah,
The
not the one, the just
Acha, there was another,
the box.
Yeah, the box.
That was the only one. This happened 3 or 4 years after.
Either like your inner passion for lights, or like because people started asking, what is that? Like how did that come up? Your passion for lights.
Maybe it was combined. I mean, a passion and opportunity. They were married together.
So you were trained somewhere to do light design?
No, as I said, Visu Kamerkar and my interaction with him, that is the only bit that I had about lighting.
You did not follow any like...
No, never. I just knew that these are the lights that you have to use and this is the system and that's it. So I just started responding to whatever was coming my way and I started evolving things, maybe using different sources of lights, using different kind of lights, the texture. I started playing on texture of light. I used single slide projectors which were available at that time as sources for lights. I used batteries, I used lanterns, whatever. I would think about the source of light before I could design anything else with spotlights. So that changed something in thinking around me, and people wanted that kind of thinking perhaps. And then I was being called by people for light designing, and in 2007 I think I got my first Meta, and then my interaction with Hindi and English theatre began with that. Lilith Dubey, Ramu Ramanathan, Akarsh Khurana. I started working with them. And that started in a way providing me sustenance also. Commercially, I was being paid very well. At the same time, I was never attracted to Marathi commercial theatre because they were not providing any ground for designing or providing good light design or whatever. The things that I was doing with Asakta were so fulfilling. I mean, we used to have 4 or 5 technical rehearsals of each play. We used to provide for that. We used to book theatre for 2 days or 3 days for just for light design, evolution of light design.
Yeah.
And that kind of atmosphere was here, provided here in experimental zone, and I was never attracted to commercial zone in Marathi.
Yeah, there is a small question I have.
Yeah.
So, what you are saying is very important because that is also to do with the way smaller spaces in Pune and around have evolved. So, my question is about this designing thing. Like this, you specifically said this, I did not go, like or like you did not have that way any connection to quote unquote commercial. So what exactly was that, like that did not attract you to work, because there is a money and also there is no kind of dearth of resources. You have a lot of lights, like you do whatever you want. But then what exactly was the point for you that may also have driven you to come to the place like the box or even before that other places that you have worked?
Actually, the need of doing what you want to do, whether it is with 10 lights or whether it is with 100 lights, it is about the freedom of choice, it is about the freedom of thinking, the liberation from all the non-creative aspects on your creative thinking. That liberation probably held me here. And, in Marathi commercial zone, you do not have even good payments. You did not have as a, you can say.
Now it must have changed.
Now it must have changed. I have never been there, but in Hindi, English, I was getting paid smartly as compared to Marathi. So, how do you think about a particular aspect of your theatre making? The Marathi commercial theatre would not demand or was okay with the designer not attending every show. Even the director wouldn't attend the show. The main director of the play would attend only 5 shows of the play. And here was a scenario where I used to operate my own designs. I used to be there as a part of the design. Unless I am available, the date would not be announced.
Yeah, that's so, like there is also central place for light designer.
Yeah, so that means you are a part of the entire scheme of things.
Yeah, and you are not just technician, you are designer, you are
just
thinker,
a technician,
you are conceptualizer.
You have designed it and someone else is operating it, he doesn't want, he's just operating cues, he is not operating a design.
Yeah, so you are not sending anyone, because I remember we had gone together for this performance of F1 105 to NCPA, and overnight we traveled on the bus and then realized this ki Pradeep Vaidya is also here, like you are not sending any anyone, because light is not just like you operate but also you think like about, you're right.
And when you send someone, that had to happen in my commercial zone in English and Hindi, because dates would clash automatically. But at that time, I started developing my own, assistants who would know the design internally. I used to train people right from rigging light to using it on the character or whatever, and then operating it finally. So that time I had 3 or 4 interns with me.
In 2000, like or,
2010 onwards.
but you also, like, because I remember there was also Prayog Parivar, Atul used.
Yeah.
So Atul had also kind of, this foldable system.
But then Atul was not interacting, we were not interacting at
Actually,
all
we were
at
in
that
Delhi,
time.
actually.
Atul was something like a huge figure because
Yeah.
I started doing theatre around 2000,
Acha.
seriously, and Atul was doing it right before that, and he was a stalwart of the,
Yeah.
and I was not introduced to him ever till 2012. And 2012, there was this invitation, I mean not invitation, but there was this question, would you design lights for Satyashodak?
Yeah.
Actually, it started with music first. We are looking at live music, and if you can come, Omkar Govardhan and I was connected because of Asakta, and Omkar was acting in Satyashodak.
Yeah.
So he's probably suggested the name, and then he only called me, would you like to come? I said, I would love to come. And then I went there. I attended many rehearsals for music and all that. And then on one day, Atul said, if you want to design my lights, you can, but my experience is such that I will not allow you if I don't like it. If the design is not liked by me, you are not continuing. And then I am working with him till today. So probably he liked it that time.
So, we'll come back to that scene.
Yeah, but then there I realized that the need of having clean people in the scenario of the material of light design, lights, basically light supply, the spotlights, the power cans, the dimmers and everything, they were held by such people who are not a part of theatre. The electrician would be drunk, he would climb up the stairs, and you are like, Atul's play would travel all along the state.
Extensively all over Maharashtra.
We were expecting 100 shows at least. So there, the first bold decision of my life came that I said I would purchase all the equipment.
Your own, like a material. Wow.
Because I had these interns with me and more were ready to come. So I said, come in, have this hands-on experience, do everything that a light needs to be, it needs to be done for lighting a play. Go on tours, handle everything and learn yourself. So I built that alongside.
So you bought your own material and you will go with your own thing.
I bought my material only, that material that was required for Satyashodak. But then when Satyashodak shows were not there, people would come to me, Pradeep Dada mala spot paije, and so on. And I would give them. All that rent pushed me so much that I bought double the amount of material in 1 year.
Oh wow.
And that trajectory started.
How do you get support from the banks? Like, what is the system like here?
Banks don't support.
They don't support. So how do you raise fund for like into kind
You beg. You ask people to give you money. You ask people to trust you for your intentions, your noble intentions.
But initially you got some support, na? Because
I got support from Praj Industries.
Praj Industries. So
but then again you have to beg. You have to go to them, you have to ask for money, you have to beg is, I mean, a crude word,
but of course
the action means that.
So banks are not going to give you loan.
They can give you loans against some fixed deposit, but then who will give you fixed deposit? Or if you have some gold jewelry, put it as mortgage. So again, bank is not helping you.
Bank is. You yourself, I think both of you, Rupali and you, have to kind of come up with kind of.
So I met Pramod Chaudhary. I had a small a small incident which brought us together, like in his 25th year of Praj, they had a huge cultural festival kind of thing, and Rupali and I joined them as mentors.
And there was some writing also, playwriting thing that did with Praj. No,
No. Zhade was done with
That's
Praj.
it.
Praj Foundation supported Zhade, Maticha Manatil. That is how it started. And then I went and met Mr. Pramod Chaudhary and said, I have something in mind, but it needs money and I don't have it. So they said, okay, I'll come and watch it someday. I'll see it myself. And he visited this space that was like what I said earlier. And he laughed. He said, you really seem to have a very potent and strong passion in you. So I would like to support this madness.
Yeah, but
And then he supported me. But earlier, the money that I said I had given these people, the company people, that was provided to me by friends at California.
Oh yeah.
California Arts Association, Kala. They sent me, they contributed and sent me 1 lakh or more rupees. And I put them as it was a filmy scene that 1 lakh rupees and give me access for 3 months.
Yeah. So one more technical question. So are these spaces, like when you get these spaces, you get like required permission, but also do you have to pay for insurance?
You have to pay, but the COVID scenario did not allow us to do any third party insurance and all that. That is required, of course. But there are ways of dealing with things. Fire permissions are one very complicated thing. Changing the entire thing into commercial usage is another issue. There are legal hassles, of course, and you have to go through.
Yeah. So someone has to, like those who want to build something like this, they have to think about all these aspects.
Basically, you have to think about everything, right from you say pin to piano.
Yeah.
To be precise.
Absolutely. And there are basic things, like for example, when you announce a show, I hear every time, like, there is a washroom, you can go from here, like, it has to be made accessible to everyone who is in the audience. So those are also the things that you have to.
You think about accessibility, you think about genders, you think about whatever. I mean, you have to think about almost everything.
Plan.
I mean, because you are catering. It's a social enterprise, basically.
Yes.
It's not a business kind of. It's social enterprise.
So then, what was the first play, like when you started the bar?
First play happened on 5th of November 2020 when audience was allowed to come.
Which one?
Audience was allowed to come, and this was a play reading. We were going to shoot it actually, but then to our surprise, this permission was granted for audience. And this was a play written in Rangabhan.
Yeah, that you also mentored. That was the playwriting thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So that play was going to be read, and that reading turned into a performance. And I forgot the name of the play, but Sujay Jadhav had written that. And Rucha Apte and Kshitish Date, they were performers.
Right.
So, Hyperbola.
Right.
That was the name of the play. That was the first play that happened on the 5th of November.
After like opening of this
2020,
COVID.
After COVID, they opened it for people with all the security measures, safety measures for COVID, 3 feet distance and all that. So we had around 60 persons watching the play, And to our surprise, people wanted to come to theatre. People started coming to theatre. The audiences. And that was providing an appeal to our efforts. We are on right track. We are doing whatever. Otherwise, in COVID, you were thinking, where is it all going? And
Actually,
even the theatre is going to.
and you had already the space.
Yeah, I already was 14 lakhs down.
Everyone was like,
You are thinking what's going to happen.
very it was a thing of because, and also we all were struggling finding spaces. People were traveling, shifting.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
It was very scary.
It's a dark kind of period.
And more scary was the second lockdown.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have money. Because the economics hadn't built. We were even not covering the losses that were done in first lockdown. The work was not complete.
Yeah, and actually there was a basically question in human society around us whether what is the kind of, why do you need art now? Like we are not surviving basically. There is no also future of our lives. So
And people would look at you as monsters. What are you talking about? Art?
exactly. How can you talk about art? I don't know if we are going to survive now.
Yeah.
Next day.
And second lockdown, I must say that it was such a heartening experience from all over the theatre community all over, because since we didn't have money, we appealed to people to pay us something in advance. Give us some money so that we survive now, and once the lockdown and everything is open, everything is released and we are allowed to work again, we will give you 2 dates or 1 date or whatever, and you can come here and do your performance. So we had actually appealed for advance payment to make us sustain. But this appeal that was sent to only a few of us was shared by those people to someone from Chennai, from Bangalore, from Kolkata, and people started helping from there.
Right.
And they said, no, you have to, this is such a unique thing that you are doing. You must sustain. Whether or not we use it later, that's a different thing. We have 25,000 or we have 1 lakh rupees and you take that. And people donated money.
Wow.
And that helped us sustain through the second lockdown. And after second lockdown in 2021, again it opened on 5th of November. And to our surprise, Hyperbola was again performed on that day.
Wow.
It was scheduled to be performed that day. And I think that was a Diwali descent.
Yeah.
And we began with reading performances in the morning, Diwali Pahat. So Hyperbola was performed again on 5th of November. That was scheduled there, and it so happened that again on 5th of November 2021, Hyperbola was the first play that was read here. And then it has not stopped.
Yeah, now it's been like every day there is something or the other happening.
During the COVID period, we realized that this space can be utilized for shooting. Different types of shootings, commercial shooting, podcasts, and so on. So all those, the spectrum of things that can be done with a space, that was unfolded. And with those possibilities, 4 years down the line, when we had returned the money taken from Pramod Chaudhary.
Wonderful.
In 2024 March, we returned all the money he had given us. It was a loan, but not with interest. It was no interest loan. That is also a huge thing.
Yeah.
So we returned that money, and after I was successful in running the box, people came out with more spaces in the same premises. There was a shooting studio, the Pune studio, where we are sitting. That was Pune studio, and in a building next to this, on the first floor, a space called the base was open.
Yeah.
That was like Sudarshan. So they also were doing fine. I mean, as far as audience response or the commercial response from the community was concerned. But unfortunately, both closed down in March 2024.
Achha.
And on the other hand, we had repaid the amount. So that was promising on one hand. So we thought instead of having someone else coming here and creating something else and doing some non-arty things, let's occupy the space. And finally we designed the expansion in some way, and we occupied the entire 7,800 square feet of the.
It's a hub now.
It's a hub now. We have 5 spaces.
Yeah. So 5 spaces. This one we are sitting here is the box.
Box 2.
Box 2. 2 is TOO.
2.
Not
Yeah.
TW.
This is also a box.
So box 2. So there is a box, and this box 2.
That one intended actually.
Yeah,
That's
but
2 also.
what, like the box 2, and then third space is.
Third space behind this is a studio which is 24 feet by 34 feet.
Right.
Almost the E-Lab studio space.
Right.
And that is how the spectrum unfolded, I said. So people need smaller spaces for rehearsals, for some small, very intimate kind of literary exchange or whatever.
So that is
studio.
That is a rehearsal space kind of.
That's a rehearsal
But
space.
how many people can?
70 to 90.
17 to 9. That's so real. And this space?
This space 90 to 120.
90 to 100. And the box?
Box is 150 to 170.
170. So these are 3 spaces, and plus 2.
Plus 2 are smaller than that. They are rehearsal spaces. One is corner and one is mini. Mini.
Yeah, okay. So they are for like reading, just like sit and.
Yeah, rehearsal spaces or small podcasts or single person shootings, reel making.
Right, yeah.
All those things. People need space for that.
Yeah. You saw the space, and there was, I think this was also some industrial space.
This was an industrial space. This was a shop floor of this company called Rescon, and they used to produce resistors, conductors, capacitors, and all.
Right.
That. So where the box is situated right now was a plant for capacitors, making capacitors. So the machinery was there. It was lying there. There were false partitions, there were glass partitions, everything had to go. And when I came here in 2019, around October, that time I felt that I can have that kind of a space here, but the cost factor was huge. I didn't have money that time, so I had to bring money from somewhere.
But then you did not construct it. What is this entire structure like here?
The shed was there. The outer shed that you see was well constructed, and it existed right since 1967, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a nice structure.
Yeah.
But internal partitions and internal structures were not very good and not in good condition as well, and were not required at all. I needed to have a hall, an auditorium. So first, the height was good, but then the height would also create some echoes and that kind of thing. So there was nothing dividing these two parts of the shed.
It was open space, like
It was an open
entirely
shed.
open.
So just a 9 feet partition was there, and if I wanted to do something on that side which required darkness, I had to build a wall of 26 feet in the center, height, 70 feet by 26 feet. So that was the first task, and design evolved as days went on, and
Yeah. So you did not come with the kind of sheet of paper, and but like it design evolve, as you say. It's not.
yeah,
like
because
a-
I visited this space several times.
Right.
I sat there for some times. I paid these people for that. I said, keep this money, which I didn't have actually. I borrowed it from someone, and I said, if I don't come across some plan in 3 months, this money is yours.
Yeah.
So give me access for a free access to this space for 3 months. Fortunately enough, that time people were not much attracted to this space as they were after the box was built. The box changed the facade of the space.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like a barren this thing. I mean, it was in very bad shape.
And
Yeah.
it was not meant to be for performance. It was like
Performance, you cannot even think of
Think of,
performance. You cannot. You would not even stop here for
yeah.
some. And I used to come here and sit on those drums for some hours. What to remove, what to keep, because E-Lab studio, that small space, was just right across here. So I would take time, come here, sit, and think about what is to be done. What do I require? Well, I couldn't afford an architect for that.
Yeah. So there was no architect. Like you just
There's no architect.
no architect.
I hired them later for whatever my plan was to
Interior
normalize it and to bring or fit those things in architects. The normal practices that they do.
So that way, this space is developed by artists themselves.
Yeah.
Like you being an artist,
Yeah.
other people. Because I remember those were also early days. You will ask us to come see
Yeah.
what we can do. Like
Yeah.
you try out this. Do you want to see this? Like I remember all this, and that was also COVID
Yeah. Yeah.
time. You were also building that kind of trust.
Yeah.
And then I also, were you scared? Because I remember there was COVID,
Yeah.
suddenly COVID came up,
Yeah.
and then you had this space.
Yeah.
And then I think you also had I had this space, there was some money put in, and then COVID was happening. So there was also that kind of concern.
Yeah, there were basically money problems all along the first 2 years. Because we had this space in the contract was to happen, the agreement was to be signed on 23rd of March, and 21st of March everything locked down. And we had acquired a plain hall, machinery was removed, and some material for construction was already in, that was purchased. And then for 6 months we could not do anything.
That's what.
And we had to pay rent for all those 6 months, because these people are very commercial,
Right.
that they would not even reduce 1 single rupee for that, for COVID. They said, what can we do? You have to pay us. So first and second lockdown, if you combine them, we lost 14 lakh rupees in paying the rent. That's a huge thing. But there was no choice. If we would have budged down or we have given up, we would be on the roads, begging for.
Yeah.
So There was no choice also, and there was no intention to go back.
Yeah.
Both of them. Some extent, yes. They did not go all out to do that. I mean, they did not have a bunch of levels or number of levels that were available there. There were a few levels available there. Otherwise, you will have to bring them from outside. But then they used to do their own productions. 4 or 5 productions every year. They used to run Grips productions, and all those productions would require certain kind of setting, some props, set props. They were created by them for their this thing. And maybe when that was some production stopped, that set of property and whatever was available to others to use.
One can.
So the inventory was built alongside. Not, I don't remember that it was built like we will have 20 levels here, we'll have 7 blocks here or something like that. Certain things which were common to everyone were provided, like some 4 or 5 levels, 4 or 5 blocks, they were provided, of course. Yeah.
So then, what exactly was innovation? Like, because you also mentioned there was Mohit. So you were working. So you have also been light designer. You are not just looking at spaces. Like now you see the box, but then you're already kind of multifaceted. So you have been writing. You have been designing lights. You have been also directing plays. And at that time, I also, when I was looking at the archive at Sudarshan, so I saw your plays with the RM number. So how was it? Like, if you are talking about this small space, there is certain economy, but there were also certain themes that were emerging, and also there was certain aesthetic, especially Mohit, I think he brought that kind of different aesthetic.
Mohit had and has a different aesthetic altogether. You can agree, everyone agrees to that. He has a different vision as a director, as a theatre director, and he emerged as a vital force at that time. He had to leave PDA because the response for his, the force of his kind was not what it ought to be there. So he had to create his own ways of doing things. The director-centric approach of most of the organizations around. I mean, the director is the core of every group, and then the group builds around. So that kind of a thing has happened in the past also. PDA was much kind of a democratic kind of a scenario. So everyone had to agree to something, and that may not happen in a scenario where a forceful, vigorful director tries to do something of his own, some conceptual shift from whatever you are doing. So that happened in PDA earlier also, when Jabbar Patel wanted to do something, and that did not happen. But then that's the scenario, that's the structure that they have, and there is nothing wrong inside them. But this need of the time made or pushed things such a way that Asakta formed. And Mohit was looking at theatre differently, because this has happened with almost every one of us who was watching things, accepting things. I think you are also a part of that generation where we used to watch Bal Kolatkar, Satish Dubhashi, or people like that around, Dr. Lagu towards the end of the entire thing, and others, Datta Bhatt and these people, and the theatre being done on those levels, or Chabildas type of theatre. And on one level you would go with them, and on one level you would deny them. And that denial, the force of denial, that I want to do something but which is like them on one hand, and which I don't want to be like them on one hand. So once you had your own ways of doing things, the organization was supporting it, you would start exploring possibilities of doing things differently. And then Mohit was trying to do that. I happened to be the light designer of Mohit's play accidentally, actually. I used to work with Visu Kamerkar and people like that in Mumbai when I was very young, college going, 15, just passed my school, and so I used to help Visu Kamerkar in his lights, just rigging, focusing and all that, because he had this spectacle sir that time, and that time the medicines were not very evolved for spectacles, so he would be in pain while focusing lights and all that. So naturally we would help him, and then we would ask questions. Why are you putting this light here? And he would answer when he was okay, well. So he would tell us what is he doing with color, what is he doing with the direction. That's the training that was there. Only that much training. Informal training, just discussions and all that. And once Mohit's play was going to happen, but something happened, and 45 minutes before the show, everyone knows that the light designer is not coming. And that was Pratibimb by Mohit, by Ilkunchwar, of course. So, in 45 minutes, what do you do with lights? It's not possible to do it. Of course, that was in Sudarshan, so certain things were rigged already. So I played on the direction of light, and that worked well. Mohit said, this is a unique thing that I am seeing, so let's do this. And that relation continued for 35 productions after that.
Yeah.
Almost all till Chaheta. Chaheta was my last work with him.
Yeah. So in a way, you're also learning there. You were learning at the level of like how do you manage spaces, then also especially how do you manage smaller spaces, look at the management of the spaces and economy spaces. So this was happening in 2000, but at some point you also, I realized, you came with this your own kind of
that was much
thing.
later.
That was much later. So it's been wonderful to hear, Pradeep, from you all these kind of stories about your journey as a light designer, as a writer, as a director, and also someone who has learned immensely from your engagement with kind of different theater groups in Pune, outside Pune. Yes, I mean, I really enjoyed listening from you about how Pune has evolved over the years through kind of diverse theatre practices, not just in Marathi, but also in Hindi, English, and your work with different directors, different spaces, kind of initiated different conversations about art, about theatre. I'm really thankful to you. Maybe we can have also another conversation where we talk about your engagement with theatre spaces in Pune.
Yeah.
But this is very kind of wonderful, very detailed context for the theatre that has evolved in Pune in contemporary time. Thank you for giving us time, Pradeep.
Thank you.
हे झालं पहिलं. आणि सेकंडचं हे Pradeep, it's been really enriching experience to hear the story of the box. This is the time we have been struggling a lot with kind of with this, how to sustain the space, how to sustain theatrical spaces, cultural spaces. How do you survive? Because there is a kind of different influences of cinema, OTT, and people are losing their what you call concentration, attention span is diminishing, and then the question remains: how do you sustain with kind of these activities? And in this time, you have been able to run this cultural hub in Pune, and this is very, what do you call, inspiring story of contemporary theater practitioner. And this is not just a story of a space someone run by some kind of businessman, but run by theater artists like you, Rupali, and those who are involved in making of this the box. Now, thank you for sharing such inspiring story.
I think there are many more who are trying to do such things all across the state, and we wish all the best to them. And if anyone needs any kind of whatever, I mean, sharing experiences, further detail, we would be very pleased to do that.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Pradeep.